If you are losing hair after 60, this video explains what is really happening inside your scalp, why it is happening, and what you can still do right now while your hair roots can still respond. This is not about hiding thin hair or accepting hair loss as normal aging. It is about understanding what your scalp needs and supporting it correctly before the chance to help it slowly fades. To solve this properly, we first need to understand how hair normally grows. Once that is clear, we can understand what changes after 60, why hair weakens instead of falling out all at once, and why most fast solutions fail for older adults. Only then does the right approach begin to make sense. This matters because most people start caring about hair only after visible thinning begins. By that point, changes have already been happening quietly for years. Understanding those changes is the difference between slowing loss and feeling helpless. So let's start at the beginning. How hair actually grows. Every hair on your head grows from a hair follicle located under the surface of the scalp. The follicle is not just a hole where hair comes out. It is a living structure with cells, nerves, blood supply, and support tissue. For a follicle to grow hair properly, it needs three things: steady blood flow, oxygen and nutrients, a stable, flexible scalp environment. Hair growth happens in cycles. The first phase is the growth phase, where hair actively grows. This phase can last several years in younger adults. The longer this phase lasts, the longer and thicker hair can grow. After that, hair enters a resting phase. Growth stops, but the hair does not fall out immediately. Eventually, the hair sheds, and the follicle prepares to start a new growth cycle. In a healthy scalp, many follicles are in the growth phase at the same time. This creates the appearance of thick, full hair. Here is something important that many people do not know. Hair loss does not mean follicles disappear right away. Most follicles remain alive for many years, even when hair looks thin. So if follicles are still there, why does hair still get weaker? What changes inside the scalp after 60? After 60, the body changes slowly and quietly. Hair thinning is usually a result of several small changes adding up over time, not one sudden problem. The first major change is circulation. As we age, blood vessels lose elasticity. They become stiffer and narrower. This happens throughout the body, including the scalp. The scalp already has very fine blood vessels, so even small reductions matter. Lower blood flow means hair follicles receive less oxygen and fewer nutrients. Hair cells divide more slowly, growth phases shorten. Hair does not stop growing overnight. It simply grows less. The second major change is skin aging. The scalp is skin. Aging skin produces less natural oil. Collagen and elastin fibers break down. The skin becomes thinner, drier and less flexible. When the scalp becomes tight and dry, it creates constant low-level pressure around follicles. This pressure makes it harder for follicles to stay active. Many people feel scalp tightness years before visible hair loss appears. This is often ignored, but it is an early sign that the environment is changing. So if hair loss is happening slowly, what exactly causes thinning instead of sudden bald spots? Why hair weakens instead of falling out? Hair thinning after 60 usually happens evenly across the scalp. This is different from disease-related hair loss. The reason is follicle miniaturization. With each growth cycle, the follicle produces a slightly thinner hair. The growth phase becomes shorter. The resting phase becomes longer. Over time, hair becomes finer, shorter, and lighter in color. Eventually, it becomes so thin that it barely contributes to coverage. At the same time, shedding may increase slightly, but not dramatically. This is why many people say, I am not losing hair in clumps, but my hair keeps getting worse. Another factor is chronic low-grade inflammation. Aging bodies often have slightly higher inflammation levels, even without illness. This inflammation does not cause pain, but it affects tissue behavior. In the scalp, inflammation interferes with growth signals and keeps follicles stuck in a rest mode longer than they should be. Now here is a critical question. If follicles are still alive, why do so many treatments stop working with age? Why most hair products fail after 60? Most hair treatments are designed for younger scalps. Strong chemicals, intense stimulation, and aggressive rubbing may increase blood flow temporarily, but they often irritate aging skin. Older skin heals slower. It loses moisture easily. When irritation occurs, inflammation increases. Inflammation is one of the main reasons follicles stop responding. This creates a cycle where people try stronger treatments, which causes more irritation, which leads to worse results. Hair after 60 does not respond to force. It responds to comfort and stability. This is why gentle, supportive approaches make more sense than aggressive ones. So what does proper support actually look like? The real goal: supporting the scalp, not forcing hair. Hair does not grow because it is pushed. It grows because conditions are right. Supporting hair after 60 means improving the scalp environment so follicles can function more easily. There are 3 realistic goals: improve blood flow gently, reduce scalp dryness and tension, lower chronic irritation. When these improve, follicles often stay active longer. This does not mean instant regrowth. It means slowing loss and preserving what remains. Why gentle scalp oil routines can help. Natural oils do not grow hair by themselves. What they do is improve scalp conditions. A properly prepared oil can reduce dryness, improve skin flexibility, support the scalp barrier, improve comfort. When the scalp is healthier, follicles face fewer obstacles. This is why traditional scalp oil routines have been used across cultures for centuries, especially in aging populations. The key is using oils gently and correctly. Too much oil, poor preparation, or aggressive massage can make things worse. So let's talk about ingredients and why they matter. Why onion is used. Onion contains sulfur compounds and antioxidants. Sulfur is an important element in keratin, the protein that makes up hair. Onion compounds have been shown to increase local microcirculation when applied gently. This means small blood vessels near the surface open slightly, improving oxygen delivery for older scalps. This matters because circulation is one of the main limiting factors. Onion does not force growth. It helps reopen slowed pathways. Used correctly, it works gradually without strong irritation. Why garlic is included. Garlic contains sulfur compounds and trace minerals that support tissue repair and antioxidant defense. Garlic helps reduce microbial imbalance on the scalp and supports the follicle structure. It is especially useful for aging scalps because it helps reduce low-grade inflammation. Garlic's role is protective, not aggressive. It helps maintain follicle stability when circulation improves. Why olive oil is the base. Olive oil is rich in fatty acids and antioxidants. It restores moisture to dry skin and supports the scalp's protective barrier. For older skin, this is critical. A strong barrier reduces inflammation and water loss. Olive oil also acts as a carrier. It allows onion and garlic compounds to release slowly instead of all at once. This reduces irritation and increases tolerance. Why preparation? Method matters. High heat destroys beneficial compounds. Fast mixing creates harsh exposure. Slow infusion allows compounds to bind to the oil gently. This is why preparation must be controlled. A slow, low-heat infusion preserves effectiveness and safety. How to apply the oil correctly. Application matters as much as ingredients. The oil should go on the scalp, not the hair. Hair does not absorb nutrients. Follicles do. Use fingertips, not nails. Small circular motions encourage blood flow without irritation. Pressure should be light. The goal is relaxation, not stimulation. Apply 2 to 3 times per week. More is not better. Leave on for several hours, then wash gently. Consistency matters more than intensity. What results to expect and when the first changes are usually comfort related. Less tightness, less itching, better scalp feel. These signs often appear within 1 to 2 weeks. Reduced shedding may appear within 3 to 4 weeks. This is a good sign. It means follicles feel more stable. Visible regrowth, if it happens, takes months. Hair grows slowly, especially with age. Stopping loss is progress. Why patience is not optional. Aging biology works slowly. Bone, muscle, digestion, and sleep all respond best to steady support in older adults. Hair is no different. Sudden changes rarely help. Gentle routines practiced consistently give follicles time to respond. Safety and realism. Always patch test. Avoid use on broken skin. If you have medical scalp conditions, consult a professional. No method works for everyone, but understanding biology always improves outcomes. Hair thinning after 60 is not a failure. It is a signal that support systems have weakened. Signals can be answered. When you understand what is happening inside your scalp, the right approach becomes clear. Calm care, steady support, realistic expectations. This is not about fighting age. It is about working with your body the way it now responds best.